Alright guys, and welcome back here to the Dev Realm, and today we're going to be starting a new series, and the series of today we're going to be creating a modular character system. So we're going to be creating a system where we're going to be able to select, we're going to press play, we're going to select a character that we have saved before, and then we're going to be able to play with that character in the world. So it's going to be a very fun series. I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. And let's get started. Yeah, so the first thing you guys gonna need here is that in the marketplace on Unreal Engine, just search for this stylized character kit casual 01, and this is a free asset Unreal Engine is providing us. Before I add this to my project, I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm gonna launch my engine here, and what I'm gonna do here is I am going to create just an empty template, third-person template, and once that thing is created, I will resume the video. Alright guys, yeah, so I just have created an empty template. So after you guys do this, what I'm gonna do next is that I am gonna go to my Unreal Engine asset again, and what I'm gonna search for is I'm gonna import my asset to the library here. So I'm just gonna search here for casual, and I'm gonna add to project. I'm just gonna check the show all projects because it's not yet fully compatible, but it still should work fine. And I have created here one thing called character selection. I'm just gonna select that. I'm gonna select version 5.1 and add to project. Right, so after that thing is downloaded, I will resume the video. Alright guys, yeah, so I have just added the asset to my project, and now if you go to your content, you should see a folder that called SK Casual. So we have blueprints, and then we have, what is it, the mannequin here. So we have the character, the mesh, the textures, sorry, not that one, where is it, the modules, here we go. So we have our character set in here. So the first thing that I want to do here is I need to assemble the character, right? Because the character, it does not come with all the animation setup, so we're gonna have to do some work around that. But what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna right click, right? I'm gonna create a folder called -main, and inside this folder I'm gonna create a new folder called player, right? And then inside that folder, I'm going to create two classes. I'm going to create first one called the BP character selection controller, which will control only the selection. And then later on, we're going to have to create another controller that will actually play the game. And the next thing that we are going to do here is that I'm going to go to my word settings here. Let me just find. So I'm going to duplicate this third-person character here. I'm going to drag and drop to my player, and in here I am gonna open up, I'm just gonna rename it to call BP modular character or something. Right, great. With that open, now we can create, right click here and create a new game mode, right? Game mode, and call GM character selection or something, right? Click up on this, and here we're gonna assign our character to the player palm here, and our controller to our player class controller. Save everything. Now select your game mode, and we're just gonna drag and drop in that where we have the game mode override under the word settings. Now if you press play, you shouldn't see anything different. You should still see the same character walking around, but now we got our custom character here. So the next thing that we're gonna do here is that we're gonna assemble the character before we can start work on the animation, so then we can after migrate all the animations and everything. Right, so the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna select our mesh here. And if you guys go to the content, I'm just gonna put this in another window, SK Casual. If you go here to models, yeah. So the one we are going to use, let me just double check which one is the one they are using as a base. In our case, it's saying that SK Mannequin. Okay. So I suppose we could. So what I'm gonna do here for now, I'm gonna click on that, on the SK mannequin here, right? I'm gonna go to our modular character and we're just gonna drag and drop the one here and compile and save. Yeah, now it's gonna look all weird and stuff, is because we still have to set the rest of the animations we need to. Right, so the next thing that we are going to do is we're gonna just remove the class for now. I don't want no class, I just want my mannequin to be static like this, so I can select my, so I can start to assemble my character parts. Right, so the next thing that we're gonna do here is that we're gonna go to our content, we're gonna go to our SK casual here, we're gonna go back to our models, and now we're gonna just assemble an empty character, like we're gonna just set up the master pose and all that, and then after we can do the animation. So first thing, we're gonna drag and drop the mesh here. I'm just gonna call this head. I am gonna drag and drop another one, and I am gonna call this, must be outside. I'm just gonna call this hands. Nope, hands. Right. I'm gonna drag and drop the trunk, and it needs to be outside. I'm just gonna call this the torso. Right. And the next thing is going to be another one here, which is going to be, let me just open up this here, which is going to be the legs, right? Legs, nice. Now, if you press play, it still looks okay, but what we need to do here is that after we need to add the animation here. So I can see that this could be a problem with the current mannequin that we have. So what I'm gonna do here, right? I'm gonna select here my head, the head of the character here, right? And I am gonna, this one here, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go over the mesh, and I am going to set, instead of being the SK mannequin, I'm just gonna put the head there, right? And then I'm gonna delete the head as part of here. So I have my main mesh is the character head, and then everything will follow, right? Nice. Now, before we can do something else, let's work out the animations that we gotta do here. Right, so let's close everything. And if you guys never work with the Unreal Engine animation, it's really simple to do. There's just a couple of settings and setups that we have to do. So we're gonna go to our main folder. I'm gonna create another folder called animation retarget or something, right? I'm gonna right click in here, and then I'm gonna right click and create a new thing here called control rig, right? I'm gonna call control rig. I'm just gonna call CR UE5, yep, which is Unreal Engine 5. And now let me check if that's the right one. No, that's not the right one. It's the other one, sorry. I wanna create, what is it? Control rig, I key, yes, that's the one. Is the I key rig. We have to create two I key rigs. One for the mannequin that we are trying to copy from, and the other one which is ours, right? So I'm just gonna call I key rig. I'm gonna call I key Unreal Engine old or something. And let me just double check as well if what we can do. Let me just try the IQ retarget. Let me just double check. So I can select the IQ mannequin to Unreal Engine 4. Yeah, I think that would work. Let me double check here. We can open up details. I suppose we can. Yeah, so I'm gonna do it in a better way here, right? So instead of doing all this stuff, right? Instead of doing all this stuff here, I'm gonna delete everything. I'm gonna do it in a different way because Unreal Engine already provides us with those rigs, so we don't have to worry about that. So we're gonna right click. We are gonna go to animations, ikey and ikey retarget. I'm just gonna call ikey UE5 to UE4, something like this, right? Here it's gonna ask me for where is the source and where I want to retarget from. Right, now if you guys notice in here, right, we still need to put the right mesh because we don't have the right mesh here, right? So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna look for the source, I'm gonna duplicate this, and then I'm gonna drag and drop this back to our animation retarget, and I'm gonna call this, it's gonna change the name to be ikey modular character, right? There's one more thing we need to do here. I'm gonna open up this modular character here, right? And if you guys remember, on our casual here, if we open up our modules, and let's pick up any mesh, if you click on the skeleton here, that shows up the skeleton mesh that we can use, which is a different one. So I'm gonna select that mesh, go to this, drag it and drop in here, and that should be pretty much everything that we're looking for, right? Cool. So we don't need to do anything else here. Now on this UE5 5 to UE4 that we want to do here, what we want to do is that drag and drop the ikey modular character to that, right? And now we can check if the animations are setting up correctly. To give like some context here, what you can do is, let me just stop the animation. On the target, I'm just gonna set the offset. No, that's fine. I'm just gonna put it something like that, yeah. And in here we can just check if the animations are correctly. If we have something like walk or something, you see, walk forward. They're looking alright. It doesn't look too bad, which is good. Cool, nice. Now the next thing that I am going to do here, right, is I'm gonna go now back to my what is it, content here. I'm gonna open up our third person. I'm gonna open up our blueprint, our character here that we want to migrate from. I'm just gonna select here the animation class. I'm gonna go in there. Now I'm gonna play with the male character because my model is male. So yeah, I'm gonna right click on this. I'm gonna press retarget, duplicate, and this one here. And the one you want to select is the ikey Unreal Engine 2 or Unreal Engine 4, the one we just created. Now I'm gonna change the folder. The next thing is we're gonna go to main. We're gonna create another folder here called animations. If you already have a character, you don't need to follow all those steps, but for those who doesn't have, we need to just to make sure that we have the animation playing nice. And now that's gonna take a while. There we go. Now we can save everything. And what we can do here is we're gonna open up our player, right? Select our mesh, the main mesh, go back to main, animation, the animation here. We're gonna select ABP many, plug it in there, and our head should be moving around, which is good. Now, is it a bit weird because, you know, our character, the rest of the body doesn't move, but let's fix this one right now. So now what we want to do is on the construct script, right, we're gonna get our mesh, and we're gonna call a node called set master, set default, set pose, I think is the set leader pose component. And let me just double check if that's the correct one. Alright guys, yeah, so I was just looking for the right node here, and the right node that we want to use, so we're gonna get our mesh here, right? And from here we're gonna call something called set leader pose. Before some older versions it was called set master pose, but they in essence they do the same thing. So I'm just gonna plug this one here. Now the leader pose is our mesh, in our case our head, right? The compile and save here. Then the other poses that we want to do is, back in our construction, is our legs. It's gonna call mesh. I don't know why it has that weird number, so I'm gonna put that one here. The other one is going to be torso, and the next one is going to be hands, right? And I think our character here, let me just go back to the parts, because he already have, so he has hair, beard, and glasses. So I'm just gonna set those as well, even if they're gonna be empty for now. So I'm just gonna bring that in for now, and the beard just for now. Then what I'm gonna do here on the viewport, I'm just gonna get all those meshes, put it back here, and this is going to be, so this one is the glasses. This one is going to be facial hair, and the next one is going to be hair, right? And for now, we're gonna clear all those values. Make sure you hit clear, just because we don't wanna set anything, right? File and save, great. Now the next thing is that we just need to put those back in here, like this. And now, if you press play, our character should be ready to roll. There we go. As you can see, the animation here is a little bit weird, and that's to do with our character eye key is not proper set up. So for the test of this video, I'm just gonna disable that, and the way you can do is just open up your blueprint here. You're gonna go back to your animation graph, and for now we are just gonna plug this straight away here. Compile and save. And now your animation should be working correctly. It doesn't touch the floor anymore properly, and the way you can fix this is just by, you know, changing a little bit of the mesh here, like something like this. But that's because our character doesn't have eye key. Yeah, and the eye key, they can be quite tricky to set up, so the purpose of this video is just the character creation, so I'm just gonna leave it as it is for now. Alright guys, so yeah, that's the first part, and then what we're gonna do in the next one is to start to prepare our, setting up our character interaction with the meshes and change. We're gonna probably do the UI first. Yep. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and I see you in the next one.